All right, so I'm back in the shop, getting the last little details done on the buggy here. I got a couple little trinkets to do, but had a little surprise on Monday as I was getting ready to go to Tennessee for work, and the van got wrecked. So this is kind of putting a little bit of a screw up in everything. Let me show you the van. All right, so that's our camper setup. And here's my new back doors, custom modified by Kia, some sort. I was sitting at a stoplight and she decided to not stop and clip the whole back end of the thing. Totaled her Kia. I'm fine. I think she'll be okay. She did get an ambulance ride, but yeah. So last I knew, she was out of the hospital and doing fine. But yeah, so our camper set up. I had to strip everything from underneath the bed from the front side. That's where we store all of our tents or pop-up tents, lawn chairs, cooking gear, things of that nature. That's now all going to get strapped up onto the front of the trailer. And yeah, so that was a few hours of monkeying around that I really didn't want to deal with. But long story short, we're going to duct tape that up some more. One of the guys at the shop I work at crash wrapped it for me while I was out of town. We got some estimates going with the body shop and things of that nature. So that is that animal. Back into the garage, the buggy thing is pretty much ready to rock. I got to put a fuel pressure gauge on my manifold. I've got all new fuel lines on this thing. But I wanted to point out one of the coolest things that I think that I came up with when I built this. So my transmission tunnel is removable, right? So as most are, you can remove some sort of a floor pan in a vehicle to get to the shifters and stuff like that. But pop that guy off, shift cable goes through it, so I can't just like throw it out of the way. But pop that guy off and I got access to these shifters. I also have access to that U-joint right there. So I just come in here and kept flipping this guy around. I had to put a new drive shaft in, I'll show you that. Yeah, just kept flipping it, taking the hardware off, and I was just able to engage and disengage the front drive shaft so that I could tighten and loosen bolts. So that worked out slick, super easy. I used to have to, prior to this body rebuild, I used to have to reach up in, let's see, and get at everything from, oh, there's fuel line, or no, trans line in the way, but regardless, get to the hardware from there, which wasn't bad with a long extension and a bunch of monkeying around, but this is a lot better than it was. Tom Woods drive shaft, shout out to them. These guys rock. They've done all the drive shafts in this thing so far, but there's those guys. Call them up, talk to Sean, tell him what I need. He makes it, it magically shows up, and the credit card gets rung. So check them guys out. What I ended up doing, so I had crashed this joint right here into the yoke, and most likely due to axle wrap. So I got decent-ish angles on everything, and I had previously ground it out, but it still crashed. I ground it some more, and then when I was talking with Sean, we did these offset yokes, or excuse me, offset U-joints. So I'll try and lock the camera into the leaf spring there. You can see the stair step in the yoke as it, well, you can't really see it, but it's got a stair step in it. I want to say he told me it's a 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch, but so we shortened the shaft accordingly and popped that in. So this is the long travel giant spline thing. I want to say it's like a 14-inch travel. Not a very balanceable shaft, not a high-speed shaft, but it works really good for everything I've used it for. But yeah, that slip comes all the way down into the shaft here. So it's got a lot of engagement, because with my slider boxes here, those function like a shackle reversal. So as the front end droops out, that pinion yoke gets a lot further away from the transfer case, so needs a lot of travel there, and we just tried to match it up with the amount of travel here, plus or minus a little, and hopefully by shortening it, I think we shortened it another 1/2 inch, so it doesn't bottom out into the transfer case. I've had some issues with that on the first go around of things, but yeah, so hopefully it doesn't come apart. Worst case scenario, I gotta limit some down travel somehow on this, which I haven't figured out because there's a lot going on in there with the steering and stuff. So we are ready for SMORR, for Crawl the Ozarks, and I just gotta pack tools. I gotta put a fuel pressure gauge on, check fluids one more time, and load this thing up and go, and then reorganize our entire camper, because I can't risk opening the back doors of that thing until we get back from Missouri. So next time you see me, you see that thing, and then, well, I'll spin you around. You see that van back there with trailer. We're gonna be on our way to southern Missouri, or we're gonna be in southern Missouri. Wife and I have a nice little vacation planned for that. So hopefully we'll get some cool videos wheeling and hang out with some friends, do cool stuff. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff.